Today we're going to talk about free easy residence permits in the Americas, and I'm going to show you a couple of options because a lot of people want to obtain a second passport. So if you want to become a dual citizen, not give up your current citizenship, and if you want to obtain residence in another country, if you want to escape the World Economic Forum agenda, if you want to escape the World Health Organization agenda, whatever agenda you're trying to escape, whatever problem you're trying to solve with a second passport or a second residency, you can accomplish it with any of the three countries we're going to discuss in today's video. This is going to be great because I know a lot of people are now fleeing Western countries. They are fleeing countries that they loved for so long because of all the changes that governments applied over the past 2.5 years, and I totally understand that. So the first country we're going to take a look in today's video is Paraguay. What is great about Paraguay is that it is a residence by bank deposit option. How it works is that you deposit roughly $4,300 into a bank account in Paraguay, and this is per August 2022. The currency conversion rate can change, but generally speaking, the US dollar has been strong. You should be able to do it for, like I said, $4,300. And the best part about this deal is that you deposit the money, and as soon as you picked up your residence card, you can actually withdraw that money from your Paraguayan bank account and keep that money without losing your residence card. A great deal indeed. And this option was actually available by the government of Panama, and Panama just pulled this program. They said, you know what, we want to increase our requirements because Panama has become so popular that we just need to ask for more, and we want to attract higher end individuals this time around. The question is, will this happen in Paraguay as well? The answer is probably sooner or later. But as of right now, Paraguay has this great option. It's just a deposit, a withdrawable deposit. And the reason why Paraguay offers this easy residence by bank deposit option is because, first of all, you have to understand the countries that don't have so much to offer from, a country perspective. Like Paraguay is a landlocked country. It doesn't have the ocean. It's not so reputable as a country like Mexico or Argentina is. So Paraguay has now just started building its brand. And given the current offer that's on the table, I think more and more people will consider Paraguay really because it is a great offer. So what you need is just, you fly there, you take a flight, and you just open up the bank account, you deposit the money. You obviously need the basic stuff that you need for any residence application, which are just a clean criminal record certificate. You do need a health certificate. You need to get a health exam done. That can be done in Paraguay. Then you obviously need a passport. You need a filled out application. You need passport photos, just general stuff that you would need for any residence visa application. And that's pretty much it. It's very easy. It's very straightforward. And I think, like I told you, there's really no restriction in terms of citizens who can apply. So whether you are a citizen of, let's say, England, whether you're a citizen of Canada, the United States, Singapore, Hong Kong, India, you can apply to become a resident of Paraguay today. And some of the key benefits are really that you don't lose your residency, even though you may not spend too much time in the country. So you can be out of the country for most of the year and still keep your residency. Now things get very serious if you want to become a citizen, because there is a minimum stay requirement. You do need to know the Spanish language, which is not that difficult to learn, to be honest. You don't need to speak Spanish, perfectly by any means, but you do need to have some knowledge of the Spanish language and also the history of the country in order to become a citizen of Paraguay. Ecuador is another country that offers a pretty interesting and appealing residence option. Actually, multiple residence options. And what's interesting about Ecuador is that the country is definitely more diverse than Paraguay. It does have the ocean. It is not a landlocked country. It is located in the northern part of South America. And what's interesting about Ecuador is that in order to become and remain a temporary resident of Ecuador, you don't need to stay, any specific number of days in the country. But if you want to become a permanent resident and later on also a citizen, there is a minimum stay requirement. So within a 21-month window, you can only be outside of the country for a total of 90 days. So if you want to become a citizen of Ecuador, then you can achieve that also in just 3 short years, the same as it is in Paraguay. You could become a resident by being employed and earning an income of at least $450 a month. Obviously, the more the better, but That would be the minimum requirement as of today. Then there's a couple of options to qualify as an investor, which is very interesting. So first thing you can do is purchase real estate in Ecuador, and the amount set by the Ecuadorian government is $43,000 plus. That is as of August 2022. Obviously this number changes depending on the currency exchange rate, and chances are if you're watching this video 6 months, it's very possible that the requirement has changed. How it works is that, let's say you want to live in Ecuador, you like the country and you're willing to commit to living there for at least a couple of years so you can become a permanent resident and pick up a second passport. Then it's great because by purchasing real estate, you're actually killing two birds with one stone. Pretty cool, because you do have the option to do that. What's really good about it is that you first of all save money in rent, and you would want to think that property appreciation is present in Ecuador just as it is in many other countries worldwide, and that is certainly true. So by spending at least $43,000 you could save money in rent, and if you later on decide, you know what, I don't want to live in Ecuador anymore, I picked up my passport, I accomplished my mission, you have a number of options. You can either sell the property or you can rent it out. You can turn it into a rental property, into an Airbnb. Whatever you decide to do is up to you. But it would be a great way, to spend not a huge amount of money. It's a decent amount of money, whatever it's going to be, like, 45,000. If you want to spend 80,000, it depends on your budget and how much money you have. It's really important because this is a great way, because you save money in rent. Like I said, you can pick up that residency and passport. Another option would be to deposit money into an Ecuadorian bank account, and the amount is the same. It needs to be at least $43,000. The good part here is that you could argue, well, Ecuadorian banks pay a pretty high interest, and they can be as high as 8%, but there are risks involved here because the general deposit insurance is actually less than the minimum amount required. I think it's roughly $33,000, so that's something to consider. Another option would be to qualify as a digital nomad, and the requirement for this would be just to have an income of $1,300 plus a month. And in order to qualify for the digital nomad visa, what you need to do is have income from abroad. It needs to be from a foreign company, so you can't just be from an Ecuadorian company. That doesn't qualify you. If it's a company in the United States, in Canada, in the United Kingdom, wherever you are, if it's in China, it doesn't matter. It needs to be from abroad for you to qualify for this option. Last but not least, we have Mexico. Mexico, an interesting country because it is the closest country to North America. It is actually part of North America, and it's just very convenient. You can fly to anywhere in Mexico within just a handful of hours. Very convenient. It's just a short distance to get back home. So Canadians and Americans prefer it over a place like Uruguay, Chile, or Argentina, which would take, a lot more time, a lot more financial resources, because long distance flights between the Americas are definitely more expensive. That is something to consider. But Mexico is interesting because the temporary residence permit that you can get does not require any sort of deposit, does not require any sort of financial investment. All that Mexico asks from you is to prove that you either have a certain amount of income or a certain amount of savings. Now, a lot of people qualify through the savings side of things, and how much you need in savings changes every single year depending on inflation, depending on the exchange rate, obviously. But as of today, you need more than $35,000 in the bank to qualify for temporary residency in Mexico, which is issued for 1 year initially, can be renewed for an additional 3 years. That's temporary residency. Now, permanent residency, on the other hand, is more difficult to get. Some consulates in the United States and Canada only issue it to people who reach retirement age, so we're talking 50 plus, and the financial requirements are actually steeper. You need to have savings, you need to prove savings of more than $125,000, so definitely much more than temporary residency. What's good about Mexico is that, just like with Ecuador and Paraguay, you can become a citizen after just a few short years of living there. Now, the generic path for a person that doesn't have any ancestry with Mexico, if you don't have, a parent, a grandparent who's been Mexican, then it's different, because then you have actually 5 years from residency to citizenship versus a person that has a Mexican parent, that would only need like 2 years to obtain citizenship. But still, 5 years is better than 10. 5 years is better than never. So I think Mexico is indeed a great option, and the country makes it easy because you don't need to purchase real estate. You don't need to, make any financial commitments whatsoever. All you need to do is to prove some savings. If you have that asset, then you can become a resident of Mexico. And the best part out of everything that we discussed is definitely that you get to keep your current passport, assuming that your country of origin allows dual citizenship, because Mexico, Ecuador, and Paraguay, all 3 countries allow dual citizenship. So you don't need to surrender your current citizenship in order to become a citizen of Mexico, Paraguay, or Ecuador. That is not a problem, unlike an Asian country that only allows you to become a citizen of their country, meaning you would have to surrender your current citizenship, which is something that not a lot of us are actually willing to do. And that's totally understandable. But with these 3 Latin countries, and the best part about Latin culture is that it's a very open culture. It's a very welcoming culture, because immigrants have been coming into Latin America forever, for centuries. So those countries are used to immigrants. They're used to welcoming them. They're used to having lower entry requirements than other countries on this planet. So I think it is a great deal. Which of the discussed residence programs is the most attractive in your eyes? Leave a comment below and let us know. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm uploading new videos on digital nomad locations, travel updates, and investment advice several times a week right now. I highly recommend that you grab a free copy of my latest ebook, The Nomad Elite Income Booster, your go-to guide for creating passive income streams using the internet. And if you got some more time left, check out these videos. Thank you for watching.